Hey, my name is Jeff with Keller Williams right here in the amazing city of Mobile, Alabama, but we're doing something a little different today. On this tour, I'm giving you the grand tour of Cottage Hill Road from way out in West Mobile, and we're gonna take you as far as we can, but we're doing this from my car that has a 4-camera mount system, and we've got video of this side where I'm standing in front of the Publix, and then we walk around here to and then we to this other side. So anything that I see, I'm going to be able to tell you details about it, and we're going to cover the type of houses you can get in West Mobile or Mobile in general for under $400,000. So let's go ahead and hop in the car, but don't forget to like and subscribe because we're always dropping brand new videos on YouTube about all things Mobile. So let's go in, and as you notice, I'm holding a phone in my hand, and the reason I'm doing that is because we're also live on Facebook. So we're going to set the phone down and we're going to take Facebook along on the journey as well. You know, I've lived here my whole life, so when people ask me details about the city, of course I've got some pretty strong opinions, but I absolutely love doing it, and I'm looking forward to getting to share that with you all as we talk about what you can get for under $400K in Mobile. So we're starting out in the new Publix shopping center, and since I made my last video about this area, they've since opened the new Mexican restaurant, and I haven't been yet, but the reviews are great. So I definitely have to add that to my list. But as you can see, the Publix, brand new, and it's really nice. You look over on this side, you'll see a school bus, and that's because we are driving in the school traffic. But it looks like most schools are out, and so hopefully we won't catch too much traffic. But as we head this way, we're gonna be heading north on McFarland, and McFarland is going to hook us all the way back around to Cottage Hill. But I'm showing you this section because this area has a lot of great things going on and a lot of growth. So as you notice, we've got this shopping center here, but then directly behind the Publix, people have been asking, Jeff, what's going on? What are they building? Well, this clearing over here on the right, behind the Publix, they are putting in a new D.R. Horton development. So they've cleared all that land, and what they're doing is they're going to put a lot of housing. They're going to put a lot of housing there that's going to accommodate all the growth. We have a lot of jobs in Mobile, and we need more houses. And as you notice, trying to recenter my phone here, as you notice, Causey Middle School is right next to that, and Causey is one of the largest middle schools in the state of Alabama. And if you notice over here on the left-hand side, you'll see one of the most common sightings in all of Mobile, and that is a Dollar General. So, you know, people say we have too many. Well, I would agree, but I don't think there's any changes. That's one thing you can be guaranteed of in Mobile is we're gonna have lots of Dollar Generals, we're gonna have lots of nail salons, and we're gonna have lots of storage units, oh yeah, and lots of Mexican restaurants. All of that is right in this area. So, hey, got everything you need right at this corner. And we're off. So we're actually getting on Jeff Hamilton Road, and Jeff Hamilton is gonna take us right through some neighborhoods that are in that 200,000 to 400,000 range. And if you look over on the left, you're going to see this is a neighborhood called Livingstone. I sold a house in Livingstone about 3 months ago. It's around 1,700 square feet, and I believe it sold for around $255,000. It's just a little cul-de-sac, and folks love it in there. So this is in the Baker School District. You've got several different elementary schools that are out in this area, and then you've got Causey Middle School, and then it goes directly into Baker. And so in this area, we're coming up on another neighborhood called Taylor Point, and I'm going to drive into Taylor Point just for a second to show you what's going on. Taylor Point ranges from maybe the high 200s to just above 400. So let's take a turn in there, and I'll show you what we're dealing with. Now, Taylor Point is interesting because if you look on the right, you'll see it. Not only do they have some custom homes, but they also have some other homes built by D.R. Horton. And so you've kind of got a wide range. Now, the front of the neighborhood has some custom homes. These are going to have more 3-car garages. You're going to have you know, more custom features. And in the back of the neighborhood, you'll see there are more houses that kind of look just alike. And that's more of the D.R. Horton area. And one thing you'll notice about houses out in West Mobile is If you're from other parts of the country, you know, it may be different for you, but we only have two types of roofs out here. We've got shingle roofs and we've got metal roofs, but the vast majority of houses have shingle roofs. And there are two types of shingle roofs. You've got a 3-tab shingle, and then you have an architectural shingle. And the architectural shingle, those last longer. Look at this. Am I eating my words right now? Look over here on the right. This is something you never ever see in Mobile. That's got a, wow, look at that. It's got like a southwestern vibe to it on that roof. You probably see 1 in 20,000 houses that have a roof like that. That's just a rough estimate I threw out there. But I'm going to turn around and I'll just show you that, you know, this area, these lots are pretty large. Got a little privacy from your neighbors. And if you notice that a lot of these houses, they've got privacy fences. So you're not going to have an issue, you know, with folks, you know, getting in your yard unwanted. But I will tell you this neighborhood does have an HOA. And I want to remind you that HOAs in Mobile, for the most part, are very low. I get calls from people all the time and they'll say things like, hey, you know, I don't want an HOA because it's going to be crazy expensive and, you know, I don't want to pay $200 or $300 a month. Well, that's not how it is here. A neighborhood like this, the HOA is probably less than $400 for the entire year. So just something to think about. And as we exit Taylor Point, we'll come down here to the beginning of Cottage Hill Road, and that's where the journey begins, and we're going to cover schools, shopping, restaurants, all sorts of things. But in the meantime, we've got a school bus stopping ahead of us, and I don't want to get a ticket, so I'm stopping right here. And we're back in business. The school bus has passed, and now we're going to get back onto Jeff Hamilton Road. So I mentioned that they're putting in a new D.R. Horton neighborhood by the Publix at McFarland and Cottage Hill, but also they're putting in another new D.R. Horton development right down the street from that area on Jeff Hamilton called Hamilton Ridge. And I want to turn in here just to show you. Most of these houses, they're in the mid 300s up to around 400. If you look to the right, you've got the model home, and you've still got several houses that have yet to be built. You've got several lots, and I'll turn down here to show you what's going on. Now you can tell these houses are pretty large. Most of them are a minimum of 4 bedrooms. Some have 5, and what they've tried to do, if you look over on the left, you'll see house after house after house. Now many of these houses are very similar, but what you'll find is that they've changed the position of the garage, they've changed whether they have dormers or not, and what they do is they try to change it so that the houses don't look just alike. Now I'm backing up, and the reason I'm backing up is I want to show you what's going on with the mailbox, okay? Now mailboxes are pretty much gone in Mobile for new developments, and that is at the wish of the postmaster. And the reason they did that is because it makes it so much easier on the post workers to deliver mail. And so if you look over to the left, you'll see that is the mail, and you just come and get your key, check your mail, take it from there. So the days of the single mailbox on a brand new house are pretty much gone unless you live out in the country. That's the way it is. So we'll leave the D.R. Horton neighborhood, and the thing about D.R. Horton is that they are the largest builder in the United States, and they're offering incentives, they buy down your rate, you know, so there are a lot of benefits to doing that, but you have to be careful because it is builder grade quality, so you need to understand this is not a custom home, and this is a great way to get into home ownership without having to bring a ton of money to the table, and being in a neighborhood that's going to be fairly consistent as far as all of the homes maintaining value. And the reason for that is because they have an HOA, and that's going to allow houses to maintain that they're being taken care of. And also, as your house goes up, so does the neighborhood. So everybody hopefully goes up in equity through the years, and there's not one house that's low, one house that's high. Let's make a left here. So now we are officially on Cottage Hill Road as we start. And I tell you, there's so many things in this area. I want to show you another neighborhood on Cottage Hill Road. I actually used to live here for about 8 years, and it's one of my all-time favorite neighborhoods. I'm a little biased, but the reason why is it's small. There are about 130 homes, and all of the houses are very different. You don't have a lot of cookie cutter houses, kind of have a little character. Most of the houses are around 20 years old. And the name of this neighborhood is called Burlington Place. And I just helped a buyer from Tennessee purchase a home here. And so that makes the 5th house that I've sold in Burlington Place just over the last, I don't know, 3.5 years. So we'll turn in here, and you notice most of the homes are brick. There are some stucco houses, and most of them are 1 story. In fact, all of them are 1 story with the exception of 2 or 3 that have a bonus room above the garage, which I actually did. And this is a cul-de-sac. These houses are going to range from around 300 to just under 400. And if you notice, they have McDuffie Sanitation as one of the private garbage providers. So this area is still in the county, not annexed into the city, and they have to pay for garbage. And that's about $25 to $30 a month. So that's an expense you'll have if you live out in this neighborhood, in this area. But also, these houses are also on a septic tank. So that's a little bit different than what the city of Mobile has, where you've got sewer. But here, you've got a septic tank, and a good rule of thumb is you need to have the septic tank cleaned and pumped about every 3 to 5 years. If you do that, you should be good to go and not have any problems. So yep, I lived here for 8 years, and I really enjoyed it. It was very convenient. But the crazy part is, I moved out of the neighborhood just a few months before they opened the brand new Publix. So all that anticipation, you know, we can't wait till the grocery store gets here. Well, I missed it. But anyway, that's okay, because I moved to an area of town that has a lot of grocery stores around it, and we like it. So if you continue forward, you'll notice that there's lots of greenery out here. We haven't made it into the city limits yet. We're still out in West Mobile, but if you look over to the right, you'll see this person has a big white fence, lots of acreage. And then the next house, a buddy of mine owns, lots of acreage. There's some horses. You can still have that out in this area, but it's hard to find acreage now because most people have scooped it up because they had the same idea that you have. They want a little bit of space, and they want to have a place they can call their own. So we'll take a break here as we're at the corner of McFarland and Cottage Hill, and then we'll pick back up when the light changes. And we're off. But we're going to take a break. Look ahead, we've got the Seven Hills Fire Rescue. Hopefully everybody is okay. And we'll continue here. And if you look over to the left, you'll see a better view of the Publix, the Mexican restaurant. I bet there'll be a nail salon there very soon. And if we come on down here, you've got Philbrook on the right. Those houses are in the 300 to 320 range. I sold a house there last year with a pool, and those buyers got a killer house in a great location. And this area that I'm driving through right now, I would say this will be 4-laned within a matter of 2 or 3 years. They won't have a choice because this area is always packed in the morning for school traffic, and then 5 o'clock traffic, it's packed as well. But that's growing pains, and that's what happens when you have a popular area and the school systems are highly rated out in this area. People want to come out here. They want to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city, and that's what's going on. And we're waiting in traffic again, but that's because it's school traffic. Okay, as we go through this intersection, this is Dawes Road, and are we going to make it? Yes, we're going to make it. Don't tell the police. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, we'll keep that between us and hope that, I think we're good. Okay, so if you notice, we've got some shopping over here. You've got what we call a dock in a box over to the right. It's called the Fast Pace Health, or like an instant care center. Now look to the right, you'll see a neighborhood called the Cottages, the Gardens of Cottage Hill right down there. That's an Adams home development, and those are going to range from around 210-ish to around 315-ish. Lots of retirees love that area because it's very convenient and almost no yards. That's important. Almost no yards. If you look over to the left, you'll see Carrington. Carrington, those houses are in the 300 range, 350 up to 400. Another thing about this area, you've got a new nail salon that my girls love called La Vie. And so very nice place and just top notch. They've had a great experience with it. And then I'm going to talk about this other shopping center up here at Leroy Stevens. You've got Marcy and Me, which is a locally owned boutique. And then behind Marcy and Me, my absolute favorite restaurant in Mobile, it's called Cravers. And there are two locations. You've got Cravers in West Mobile, and you've got Cravers across the bay in Daphne. And that is one of the best places if you're stopping by Mobile and you really want to experience some great seafood. Check out Cravers. I highly recommend it, and it's a great price too. And we're off. We're crossing over Leroy Stevens, and a couple gas stations here. We also have a dump over on the right. I think it's like 30 bucks. Pull your truck or your load in there, drop it off, you're good to go. And so one of the highlights of what I'm going to show you as the police officer comes up on the right. Hello, Mr. Policeman. We've got one of the most exciting new additions to West Mobile right over here on the right in this shopping center. Not only do we have Foosackly's that's been here for a while, but the brand new Yellowhammer Coffee that has 4 lanes. They bought a former bank and they've turned it into this amazing coffee shop. I think they have 7 physical locations in Mobile, but if you'll notice, they're rocking and rolling, and they're always busy. Always busy. They're always doing a lot of business. But the great thing about Yellowhammer is they don't just focus on coffee, they focus on culture. And so anybody who's worked there, anybody who's bought coffee there, they'll tell you, man, those people are top notch and they truly care about you. So you've got pharmacies all around. That's one thing Mobile does not need more of, is more pharmacies. But behind us, you've got a fitness center. Over to the right, you've got a Whataburger behind that tree. And then over on the left, you've got another Mexican restaurant. You've got a Goodwill store. You've got a McDonald's. You've got a killer car wash, one of my favorites. It's called Big Tuna, I think. And then you've got a Waffle House, of course. Got to have a Waffle House. We have several in Mobile. And we're just going to wait on the traffic. So we're right here at Schillinger Road. And Schillinger, remember that's Schillinger without an S. It is just singular. Schillinger is one of the busiest streets in all of Mobile. And it takes you from down south all the way up North Mobile. And we cross through this intersection. You're going to see different banks. You're going to see a dentist office as well, a Subway. And we've got another neighborhood that I want to turn into if possible. See if I can change lanes without killing anybody. I sold a house in here my first year into real estate. And man, I'm telling you, the neighborhood has exploded in popularity. The prices have increased tremendously. And just a great neighborhood as far as houses retaining their value. So we'll turn in here, and it's called Cumberland. Cumberland, all custom houses, no cookie cutters. You've got brick houses, you've got stucco houses, and I'll show you the house that I sold many years ago. We'll head on down to the cul-de-sac. And these houses are going to range in the mid 300s to over 400. And so you can get in that under 300, or excuse me, under 400 range in here. The house straight ahead, the White House, I sold that house. It had a beautiful pool, and that was a very special house that I got to sell. I got to know the sellers really well. Just some of the greatest folks, that I've had the pleasure of meeting. Certainly an honor to do that. And most of these houses are 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, you know, maybe 2.5. And we'll pull back out on Cottage Hill Road. We'll continue the journey, showing you more houses and more of what is going on and what is coming to the area. We've got a pretty amazing place coming up just right down the street. And let's plug my phone in because it's about to die. There we go. All right. So we also have some housing that is subsidized housing straight ahead. That's what that is. And we've got looks like this fire truck is going to where that other fire truck was. Hopefully everybody is okay. And we are back in business. And so we're heading down Cottage Hill, we're heading east. And like I mentioned, we've got some apartments over here, and then you've got the property on the right over here where this metal fencing begins is a massive property. I think it's owned by one person, and they've just got like, just, you know, what you think of about multiple acres, large house. That's back there. And we are continuing. Sorry about the phone ring. I'm doing the Facebook Live as well. And we're continuing down Cottage Hill, and we're coming up on Cody Road. Now, this is where in the past, this is where you had the separation between the city and the county. And so they've annexed and they've made some changes since then. But now all of this is in the city. And of course, what comes with that, you've got free garbage and you've got sewer for most of these places. Now, I say free, but we all know garbage is not free because you pay for it because your property tax is a little bit more when you're in the city. And well, but you do have a lot of benefits. You get to vote and you get to live in the amazing city of Mobile. Now, if you look over to the right, you've got something really exciting. That's a Wawa that's being built, and that place has been greatly anticipated. Lots of folks are super excited about that, as am I, and because I live really close to that. And as we continue down Cottage Hill, we're going to wrap up pretty soon because we don't want this video to be like an hour and a half. But as we come down here, you'll see lots of trees over on the left, and then we have another neighborhood on the right. I think this is Ashmore, maybe. These are going to be in the upper threes, you know, but you can still get into this neighborhood under 400,000. Again, probably 4 bedrooms, 3 baths on average. Let's see if I have that right. Is that Ashmore? Let's see. Asheville. Sorry, that's actually Asheville. So, but close enough, close enough. Ashmore is off of Cody Road. And so apartments on the left. My wife actually lived in these apartments right before we got married. So those were, oh gosh, that was over 20 years ago. We're about to wrap up over here. I'm going to take you through a neighborhood. This is Hillcrest. Hillcrest is a very, very busy intersection for times like after school, morning traffic, lunchtime traffic. It's just busy in general. But in this general area, you've got a Zaxby's, you've got a chicken salad chick, you've got a Publix, you've got several banks, other restaurants. You've got a Walmart market across the street. But I'm going to take us into Carriage Hills. Now, Carriage Hills can get you into the mid 200s and up. And so we're going to turn in. I'm going to show you, I've sold some houses here as well. And Carriage Hills has been around for a long time. If you notice, our car's going down, and that's because it's a hill. Carriage Hills has a lot of hills, and these houses, most of them were built in the 70s and 80s. And I remember in middle school, this was the place to live. So many kids here. I mean, it was just amazing. But a lot of folks are flipping houses here now, you know. They'll buy a house for $175,000, put 75 grand in it, flip it, make a profit, keep allowing the neighborhood to go up. And I think people are doing that because, well, it's a strong area, killer location. And so most of these houses are going to be a minimum 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Some of them will have 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. But you can get houses for, you know, in the 200s in this neighborhood. So a little less expensive, a little older, but you can tell the maturity of the trees. Of course, they've got sidewalks, and you can actually walk to the grocery store from your house if you live in Carriage Hills. So this is the great thing about this area. This is the great thing about this area is you've got houses that range from 200, you know, to 300 to 400. So many areas out here. Now, I glossed over some other areas. You can go way up into $1 million if you want, but I wanted to show you some affordable housing in Mobile and just let you know that your money can go a really, really long way. So, sorry about that. My phone is blowing up. That's one of the things about being a real estate agent is your phone tends to blow up, and but I usually answer it except for when I'm making a YouTube video. But that's the great thing is that, you know, I've lived here my whole life and I love getting to do this. You know, a lot of folks, they reach out to me because they got questions about the moving process. What about real estate and all that? Well, I get to help folks all the time who are moving here from all over the country, and they've never been here. And so that's the thing. I like to kind of peel back the curtain, and I like to show them my experience of what it's like. And I don't sugarcoat it. I really tell you the truth. I cut to the chase, and it's my job so that when we get to the closing table, there are no surprises. You know, whether that's doing a virtual tour, whatever it is, I love getting to do it. But hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. If you will, check out the link below. I'm gonna have my new app. I've got a link where you can download that, and it's got some great resources, and you can search for homes, except we don't sell your information like so many other companies do. But my website is livinginmobile.com. And then, of course, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, every other place as well. But connect with me, shoot me a message, leave me a comment. Any way you want to communicate, I'll be happy to help you. And hey, stick around. There'll be more videos dropping soon. I cannot wait for the next video.